Morning, folks. It's Mark from MT.TrainRestorations. Today I just thought I'd pulled this out, and it's been sitting around a long time. You can see it's had a lot of play time on it over the years. Some rust here and there. It's missing a rod on this side. I probably have one for that, but it runs really sporadically. It wants to jump forward, reverse on its own. It's just running really rough. It needs a good servicing, so I thought maybe I'd just do a quick tutorial on one of these 1688s. It's a little different than the 1688E. I don't have one handy, but I think the similarities are the plate on both sides, and then we have the rods, but the screws, there's screws to take and drop the frame out of here, the motor out, are a little bit different. Other than that, there's not a whole lot of changes to it. It's missing a marker. I think I have those too. So anyway, let's take it apart and see what's going on with it. I'm going to loosen these screws up here. Hope you can see what I'm doing there. And take that out, take this out real quick. Excuse my hands. This takes a Phillips. I see there's a Phillips in here. This loosens the plate that holds in the trucks and the motor. So we'll take that out of there. We should be able to get this plate lifted up out of here. Whoop, sure did. Pop right out. So it just needs wire wheeled. I'm going to do that on my bench grinder in a little bit. We'll take care of that. The light, it just kind of slides onto this little peg. I noticed to see how loose the bulb. The bulb was flashing back and forth. It's dirty. So we'll take the bulb out. We'll give that a cleaning. The wire, it's not bad. It's not really cracked up, but it is really dirty. So anyway, let's see if we can get the motor up out of here. We could take the truck off, the rear truck, if we need to. Yeah, I think it needs to get some wire wheels too done to it. So let's take it apart. Might as well. We'll take that off of there. This is put on with a shoulder screw to keep it spinning. Little shoulder screw. It's got the little shoulder above the threads. And it's got the bar loose. The bar is a separate piece from the truck, so we'll just let it go for now until we clean it up. So let's see what's going on here. I think it's just dirty. It's just dirty. So let's move that over there. Let's see here. Get my little trusty piece of wood that I use sometimes to even this stuff up. I put a little block of wood on there just to keep it from sliding around on me. I'll take these screws out and see what's going on with the armature. I'm sure it's filthy. We want to clean that up. So just putting the screws aside. These are for the body. I'll put them up there. Trucks, bulb, and we'll put these over here to the side for the moment. And let's see what we get out of here. Just put a little pressure on it. You take that last screw out because they are spring loaded. We don't want to lose the brushes or springs. So there we go. Dirty. Okay, so yeah, that armature needs a little cleaning, which we can do. I got some alcohol, Q-tip. We'll see what that does. just get a little bit on here and see how much of it we can get off. All that dirt that's on those commutator plates. Ooh, greasy, greasy. So let's move that around. We'll get off as much as we can with the Q-tip and the alcohol. I have a little bit of electrical degreaser too. It's pretty good. It cleans electrical things pretty well, and I like it because it's not an oily, greasy film. It does evaporate, so that's a good thing. So I'm going to grab put a little bit on this Q-tip. Yeah, just squirt some on. I use this CRC electric parts cleaner. It does pretty good for me. Most of the time I'll just spray the whole motor, let it drip out a little bit, and use a toothbrush on it to clean everything out. See, it took off a whole lot more than the alcohol. Does a pretty nice job getting all that off of there. Yeah, okay, so we got a lot more off. So I'm going to use a Q-tip, or excuse me, toothpick, and get in here, get in these little grooves, and this gets built up, gets full of all that residue from the brushes. See how black that tip is? Get some of that off of there. Just dig out. You don't want anything too sharp or too deep to get in there, but what you can also do, I've done this too, sometimes I'll use a pencil eraser and get in here and get the rest of that stuff off. You can see it starts to make it like a shiny new penny, and it really, the rubber doesn't really hurt the commutator. So just you know, you don't have to push with all your might, but just rub it enough to get off that last final deep down in stuff. And there, and just clean it up. Then, ooh, this is really dirty. Get a new one. Let's get a new one here. Put a little bit of alcohol on again, just to get that rubber residue from the eraser out of there, and so on. Okay, we got that out of there. Put that aside there. Let's see what we got here with the brushes. Clean them up a little bit. Clean those up. Get that black stuff off of there as much as we can. Alright, let's see what this looks like in here. You might want to pull a little bit of this off the Q-tip. Oop, I really cleaned it off that time. Let me get a little bit off of this one. The good side, pull a little bit of the fuzz off and dip it in your alcohol or your engine cleaner, whatever you're using, and get it in these brush holders, because it's the better the contact with the brushes to the holder, the better. And just do a little scrubbing around here. It's not going to hurt anything. Just be careful not to lose your solder joints. We'll clean this up a little bit just to make it look, since we have it off, it's easy to get to. Clean around here a little bit. Down in here a little. It don't hurt to get a little bit there. Like I said, I'm not taking this all apart today. I think we're going to go with it as cleaned out as it is. I'm sure it's going to make a huge difference on how it's going to run. The rest of the issue is going to be with the E unit. So let's get this back on. There we go. So we got this going on here. See if we can get our screws back on. First try, got it down in there. just snug it. We're not putting a lot of torque on these. We don't want to strip anything. We just want to snug them up. Good, just give it a little bit of a turn. Okay. So that cleans the armature. Let's see here what else we got going on. Yeah, this is really dirty. We'll get another Q-tip here. I got a lot of Q-tips. Drop a few out here. Whoop. Fuzzball. I'm going to put a little bit of more of my degreaser on this Q-tip and see if we can do a little scrubbing around the gears here. Get them a little bit cleaner, then we can put some fresh lube on here. You can see how it's over the years, it has really accumulated a lot of black residue. That's just grease and grime from old grease, dirt from the track spraying up on the body, and that's what gets on the wheels. And you clean the wheels off because this is your point of grounding the train. You know, the wheels and the truck wheels, the cleaner they are, the better they pick up ground, your neutral from the track. And low voltage systems, it doesn't take a lot to break that circuit. You know, it takes, they have to good contact. Good contact is what makes low voltage stuff work the best. So we're gonna clean up these wheels a little bit, get some of all that black stuff off. Ooh, that's really crusty. So I'm gonna cut this off. I don't even like holding it too long. Get a clean end of the stick, get some more alcohol. We'll get that rest of that wheel cleaned off here. Clean down here. It's missing a contactor, I see. Not that it's the end of the world, but for it to run properly, you want both of these in there, because if it starts to have a bad spot on the track and it's only got one contactor, it could jump into neutral, then try to switch into reverse, or from reverse into forward. With both contacts on there, when it leaves one track at a joint in the track, as it leaves that track and goes to another, the remaining contactor is still on that track while this one's touching a new track. Is why they like to put 2 points of contact, because a single point has more possibility of not making good contact, and the power loss will start switching your train on its own back and forth. So I get a little bit more, just a little bit more on here. I think we have enough just to clean off the rest of this grease on this wheel. Get that going, get that off. All right, so not too bad, not too bad. Pretty good. Okay, so what we're gonna do now, get rid of that Q-tip. I'm gonna take a look and see what's going on in the E unit. All right, so what we're gonna do, I'm gonna take a peek up in there. It's easier to take it out. So I'm gonna take this screw out. Oh boy, that's really torqued down over the years. I don't think this was ever removed. Probably not. So I'm going to set that there. And we're going to slide this E unit right out of here. Well, I think I'm going to slide it right out of there. There we go. Okay. Woo. So you look down in there. What do we got here? Fuzz. Looks like somebody was sticking. What is that? Let's do a little exploring. Put a Q-tip, wet it a little bit, see what we find. I don't know if that's fuzz from an old Q-tip. Might be. who knows what you'll find down in there sometimes. People stick screwdrivers up in there and so on, and that's how things get damaged. You got to be kind of careful on what you're doing. You loosen up a wire or get something between the contacts of a wire, then it's going to run sporadically. Yeah, it's kind of filthy down in there, but again, like I said, I'm not going to take it all apart today. The wires aren't bare, but you can see what we have here. The drum unit, it's got a little bit of black on it. It can be cleaned carefully without taking everything apart. So what I'm going to do is pull a little bit of this dirty fuzz off of here and get back to a thin bit of fuzz on my Q-tip here. And we're going to try to get here and clean this drum unit. And it's a blue drum unit. They come in different colors. This is an older one. It's probably the original. This is a pre-war unit, so it's you know, 80 years old. But you know, I can see some melting had gone on, it looks like, on this. I'm going to put my toothpick up under here to hold this up out of the way a little bit so I can get in here a little bit more. I'm not worried about cleaning the blue plastic. I'm more concerned about getting the copper contacts, these little copper bands right here, clean. That's what makes the contact with the fingers. The fingers are these little guys right here on the bottom, and there's 4 of them behind here that make contact as this spins, and that's what tells it what to do, forward or reverse. Hope you can see that, what we're doing with it. Just want to get those copper bands a little cleaner than what they are. So turn this gently. There'll be another band right here. I'm going to get the other end here ready to go. I'm going to pull a little fuzz off. I'm going to use a little bit of my degreaser. The degreaser probably going to do a little bit better than the alcohol. You don't want to snag the little fingers and bend them or move them around. You just want to spin this slightly, get the copper band facing you, get that Q-tip on the copper, and try to clean it up the best you can. Like I said, I'm not too worried about the blue plastic being dirty or black. It's the copper. You can see right here, it's hard to see, but right here something melted this. Something melted that plastic. So when there's a little bit of a bump there now, so when this goes around and hits these fingers, see that finger's starting to hit it right now. If you can see that, there's another little melted spot. So really, this should probably get a new drum. This is a definitely a customer for a new drum, because I think the fingers and everything else are okay, but I think the drum is just, for some reason, something had shorted out in its lifetime when the fingers were turning, and see, there's that spot. Let's see here what I did with my toothpick. I got another one, but right here there's something right there melted. That little finger got hot enough to melt that plastic, and it made a bump on it. So what we're going to do, I'm going to give it a try now that it's cleaned out. We're going to see how it goes, how it runs. If it runs a little bit better, good. We'll run it for a while, but then it's going to need to have the little maintenance on this. The lever is okay, but it's rusty. Wouldn't hurt to take this whole thing apart and replace everything in there. The fingers, you can see here, it's bent a little bit, so on. But we're going to put this back in as it was. Okay, put the screw back in. Oop. Come on now. It's the only bad thing about magnetized things. They want to grab it before you get it in the slot. But when you put it in the slot and put it down in there, it wants to fall off. Go figure. Okay, so we're going to get that threaded in there, get it started. Okay. Okay, the E-unit's anchored back in there. Like I said, it looks like we have a little bit of ugliness here where the power goes to this. Let's cover this back up. That's where that was. Okay, so like I said, it's not the huge thing here. Let me get my tray of rods out and put some of the stuff away and see if we can find a rod for this. I do believe I should have something here. Give me a minute to grab my tray. Let's see what we got over here. Oh, I bet you we got something in here. We clean that in. Between these two. All right, let's see what we got. Oh, this looks like a candidate. Nope. Let's see here what we got. I got a lot of rods. Okay. Let's see. I think I'll have better luck looking in here. Maybe not. Maybe not. Okay, not here, not in here. I do have a lot of rods. I was thinking I have that. So there we go. I think that's it. It could be. Let's take a look here and see what we got. Is this one that will work? I do believe. So now I just need a screw. I should have that as well. I think that's just a hex-headed flat. This might be it here. I'm going to use my needle nose to grab it because my fingers are too fat. It's either this one or this one. I can't remember which. I think it says. Let's see if this thread's in there. Whoop. Let's see if that threads. No, maybe not. Whoop. Is it this one? Yeah, that's the one. Okay. So let's put that down in there. It doesn't look like it. Let me see if I have the right one. The exact one. I bet you this is it right here. So this goes bye-bye. This is the one. This got to be the one. Yeah. That's it right there. I figured I had to have it. But all this stuff, you think I'd have it all, but with all these rods, they're all for different trays. I'll put those away later, but I think we're okay here. Got that one snugged up, and that one there's good, that one there's good. So we're going to put it back in, but before I do that, let's see, I get a little oil on the armature, both sides. And you can just get a little bit around the armature pin, and then we're going to put a little oil or a little grease on the gears. Not a lot, but just it's a little easier to get some up here and get some here, get some there. Then we'll just move it around a little bit, put some more on. Who you calling a moron, right? All right. So we're gonna get a little bit there. Okay. So just to be safe, let's see here. I think it was shifting okay. So, excuse me. So what we're gonna do is try to put this back in the same way it came out, if we can. Put some of the other tools away, out of the way. Okay, let's see here. We got the body. Pull that over here. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take these off. We're going to take these off, make it easier, and we'll put these back on after. Okay, that's going to force me to get my wrenches down. Is this it? Nope. Is this it? Yep. Alright, so we're going to take these off. Take these off. Alright, so we got those off. We're going to put this in first. I'm going to get the lever in where I can see it. Right there like that. Put this back in where it goes. I'm going to put this on where it goes, lift the motor, there. You got to work smarter. Smarter than what the engine is, hopefully. There. Okay, so that's down in there. Got that down in there. So we got these screws. Remember, the Phillips screws went into the sides. There's one. Okay, it's a little hard to hold. Pretty small. Pretty hard to hold. We'll get that down in here. Okay, there we go. Got one there. Flip this over a little bit. Get that one in there. That's good. Okay. We should be able to get those in. This is a straight blade. Okay, we'll see where that engine is here. There we go. There's one there. And get the other one in. Let's see here with my fat fingers. Get that in there. Whoop. go, got that going on. Got the lever up on top. It's all good sign. So then we want to put this on. This goes in the back. So this truck goes this way. So we're going to get this in. That goes up in there. Like that. Got the shoulder screw. Okay, so move these over to the side. I'm gonna make sure you're seeing what I'm doing the best we can here. Whoop. There we go. Shoulder screw in. You can snug that up pretty tight because it has the shoulder on it that lets this move. This has a horseshoe clip on it, so that's ready to go. So that looks pretty good. Now, remember I mentioned, I think I have those, but while I got this upside down, I'm going to clean that one off a little bit. Now, it's probably would have been easier if I did it while we had it off, but what I'm going to do is try to get that up in there. There's a spring-loaded piece of copper up inside there, and it is tricky to get that in there, especially with the trucks in the way. There's a copper strap with a hole in it right down in here. I'm going to lift that up a little bit. I know it's going to be really hard to see it. You just got to kind of know where it's at and how it functions. There, look at that, huh? One try. All right, so okay, so that's on. Before we go to the test track, I'm going to put these back on. Got to put our rods back on. They feed through a little square hole on both sides of this frame. So we'll just put that on, put it over the wheel. Put the screw back in. Oop. Make sure we thread it in correctly. You don't want to cross thread these, that's for sure. So we'll put that in there. Just snug it down in there a little bit. Okay, get the other one. Oh, okay, sometimes I see what happens. See, these they hit here at the end. Sometimes they will do that. This one here is probably a hair shorter than that one. Yeah, it looks like it is. So that one's going to need to be cut. I've done that before. So we might as well put this one on while we can. Oop. Okay, so that one's good. This one's not. This one needs about a 1/4 inch maybe taken off. So we'll do that real quick and make sure that we get this done where we test it and everything on it is on it for it works correctly. So what I usually do is get some of my big boy cutters and take a couple stabs at it and see. I just want to nip it off Maybe take a little bit off of the, round it up a little bit. Like that. Let's see how it turns. If it turns right, then I will take this to the bench grinder and take those rough edges off. Yep, goes all the way around. So I'll be right back. Give me a minute. I'm going to swing over to the bench grinder and take off this sharp edge. Okay, I'm back. And let's see here. So I dropped the rod. Okay, so here we are. I took a little bit off, rounded it, made it smoother. So we're going to put it back down in here, turn this sideways, get it back on here, and get the little nut, hex-headed screw on there that holds it. Again, we don't want to cross thread it. There we go. Much better. Okay, so I'm just going to snug this up over there. Okay, let's see. Perfect. All right, we're going to go back to the test track now with everything on it and see how she works. I'll be right back. And see. Let's try. I'm back, and let's try this and see what we get. You can hear the clicking of the E unit. That's a good sign. There's a click. Neutral. Forward. Good. Backwards. Nice. Alright. So, very good. I'm going to hook it up to some trains and see how they pull it. Give me a minute. Okay, here's the test. Oh, looks like the front trucks are off the track. Let me take care of that on this way around. I'll put them back on. Oh, it looks good. The bright light. Cleaned it off, screwed it in tight. I'll have to put a marker on this side, but I can handle that. Got both rods on it. I think I'll run it a while like this, but it definitely needs to go in for a complete overhaul and cleaning, which at that point I'll clean the shale, make sure the markers are in, take the engine apart, take the E unit apart like I showed, and replace the parts inside. That way it'll last another maybe 80 years. We'll see. For now, Mark from MT.TrainRestorations. Please subscribe. And if you'd like to send me an email, you can do that at MT.TrainRestorations@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. If there's something you want to see done on my site, fixed, cleaned, overhauled, whatever, send me a text or excuse me, send me an email. Let me know. Bye-bye.